We are going to do a coolant system flush with the machine on a 2006 Toyota Tacoma 6-liter 4.0 or 6-cylinder 4.0 liter 4-liter engine. We are going to be using the machine, but I want to make it clear that first, what we've done is we've replaced the thermostat and we have pressure tested the system to make sure our work is holding. So the answer is it's holding well. Now we're going to begin the flush. So stay tuned. Okay? Now I'm going to go ahead and bleed the system. Watch how I bleed it. First I go to system here. I push it out and lefty-loosey. Okay, I bleed the system. Once that's out and I've got that all bled out and it's red 0 here, hit bladder. Bladder there, and I'm coming right out and I bring my adapter out. I got my cap on here, okay? Now he's going to film here in a minute. So hold on. Okay. So first things first, I'll give you a ready. Yeah. First things first. Now that the system is holding, we're going to go ahead and we're going to pop this clamp off. Now look at that clamp and how far it slid back there. Now that we've got the clamp off, we've got to break the annealing. It's called anneal rubber to the radiator annealing. We've got this little pick here that I've used. And I'm going to try to film it here, and look at what I'm going to do here. I've got to separate the rubber from that. Now that doesn't work really well. Hold it a second. I'm going to go get the Carter Cube remover tool. Finally found it. Hold on. I looked at it. Here it is. Okay, Carter Cube remover tool, guys. Ready to film, Gabe? Yeah. Okay, on 3, 2, 1. Carter key remover tool. We're going to go ahead and pop open this rubber, this hose to keep it from pulling the radiator nozzle off. We want to make sure this comes off fairly easy. Now that it comes off easy, what we're going to do is we're going to find the right fitting connector that goes to this, and it will be this guy right here. This one here is going to go into here. If you can possibly get it to the next one, try. It's always safer to try to get it up to the tightest connection you can. Here we go. No, that's not going to go, so I'm going to have to be happy with that one right there. I'll grab my pliers. Pay attention to this clamp right here. These are the difficult parts. I'm going to try to hope this clamp. Now, I'm not going to go over more than 12 pounds on this one. Just for the sake, it's going to blow off if I go more than that, okay? Do I need the radiator cap on this particular test? Yes. The radiator cap goes on. Next comes my other adapter. It goes right here. This adapter goes on. It's a little bit tight, and you got to be gentle with these nozzles. Now, sometimes I'll use a little WD-40 just to help the path, help it on a little bit. Next, I'll use a... What kind of screwdriver will I need for that? Kill it, Gabe. What kind of screwdriver is that?
Flathead.
Standard or flat?
Flathead.
Standard or flat?
Flat.
They're both the same thing. Okay, here we go. Ready, Gabe? Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to open this up a little bit. Now I may need a bigger clamp. This is a pretty tight fit on this one here. But here we go. Okay, we're back online. Is everybody seeing this? Okay, I'm going to go ahead and tighten it down. Hopefully it'll bite and go tight. Okay, we're good to go. Looks like we're ready to go. Now, what are we going to do next? We're going to do a test. So, let's go ahead and get the machine. First thing we're going to hook up is the couplers from the machine. So what we've got to do is untangle this mess, and this is why you want to put this together, put this up in a very, very loving way. If you just throw it in any old way, the hoses get bent. Okay, this is coming. This one here is coolant outlet to the car. This is this one here, and this is coolant inlet from the car. So if it's coming from the car, it's coming up from the bottom of the radiator where all the sediment is going, and it's going to come up through this tube here, coming out the radiator. So from the bottom, it goes up, grabs that sediment, all that garbage, its gravity is settled on the bottom, and comes out this clear hose. Now the good stuff, the stuff that I want coming into the car where I want to flush the car is going to come in with this hose here, remembering to keep this valve open. Next, we're going to have air. If somebody will grab me some air, and make sure you get that to lock if you can. I'm going to hand you that. Okay, and it plugs in right here. So we plug it in right there. Now we're ready to do a test. Here goes the test. We'll bring it over here to the gauges. Let's bring the camera over here. Now, again, I want you all to pay attention to this because everybody's got to do this in the next couple of weeks. First thing I'm going to do is pressure test. Right there is pressure test. Right there is pressure test. So I'm going to pressurize and I'm going to pressure test. Let's go ahead and right there I'm going to increase the pressure. I'm going to increase. I'm on pressure test. Off. Pressurize. I'm going to go up to 10 pounds. And I'm just going to hold it there for just a minute. Maybe a little more than 10 pounds. Get it to stabilize. Make sure everything is nice and tight. Once you feel like that thing is stabilized, then I am going to put it over here on the hold button. And now I'm going to give it a minute and let it see if it'll hold. We'll give it about 2 minutes to see if it'll hold. Kill it. Okay. We got 2 gallons of distilled water. Now we're going to go with this ethylene glycol. It's a universal fluid. And we're going to go with a 50-50 mix. And now that 50-50 mix is the best we can do. That'll put us at about 45 below zero. Okay? So I'm going to go ahead and mix this up. Okay, that's about right. Now watch how I pour this in. I try to do this very carefully, but a lot of times it doesn't work out. These are all sealed right here. Make sure when you get these antifreeze jugs that you've got that aluminum seal on there. Sometimes they're going to be popped. Okay, and I'll just pour that in there. Now that's a lot of material down here. When we look at this, we're going to be looking at, on one side we've got quarts, on the other side we got liters. We got 16 quarts. How many quarts to a gallon? 4. So we got 16. How many gallons is that? 4 gallons, right? Now I've got to mix this up. If you don't mix this up, there's a process called silicone dropout. You really want to get a good mix between your water and your antifreeze. Now that I've got that, I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to put it right here so we can keep our eye on it. And I'm going to try to get it to where it'll, I don't know, stay down. I'm hoping we can film it with you guys. Now everybody's got to do this next week. We've got more cars coming in. So let's go ahead and take a look at what we got back here. We're right at 16 quarts. See where the quart sign is right there? Right at 16 quarts. Now that we've got that, we're ready to go. I'm going to go ahead and lock this back down. Now let me show you something else. Once you get this Velcro locked back down like this, just tighten down, you can go ahead and finish the mix. Just kind of go back and forth, get it mixed really good. All right, now we're going to go back to the controls. Everybody ready? Now that we got back to the controls, everything goes to off. Decrease the pressure on that. Now we're going to switch to exchange. Exchange, exchange. So this is called the everything button right here. See where that round circle is? We're going to go to the exchange, and we're going to go to the exchange part right here. Let's take a look and see what kind of stuff is coming out of here. And let's take a look at our 16 gallons to make sure it's going down. And let's take a look at our glass to make sure that we'll get antifreeze coming up in that. So we're going to be watching those two things. We're also watching for collapsed hoses. Anytime we get a collapsed hose, that's a problem. Now he's got orange, an orange kind of antifreeze. Color means nothing. But the reason this is an orange is because it shows up deposits from the engine better. Aluminum and iron deposits show up better with an orange color. But this is likely to be ethylene glycol, okay? I want to make sure that we've got that. Let's take another look at the controls. Let's look at the glass and let's look at the level here. So the controls are right there. Now we're going to look at the glass to see, is it coming up? Yeah. It's coming up a little bit, isn't it? Now let's see where we're at. We're down to 12 quarts right here. If you shine that video right back there. Shine it there a minute and you can see it's going down. It's going down little by little by little. Now, when that gets to its very bottom, it's completely done. All right? He's completely done, but I'm not going to go to the very bottom. I'm going to leave about 4 quarts left so I can top it off, or I might leave 8 quarts left depending on how much air is in the system, okay? We've got to burp the system. When we burp the system, he's got to start it, he's got to let it run with the radiator cap off, and then we've got to keep feeding it antifreeze as it requires it. And it's got to go directly into the radiator. So I'm going to stop here pretty soon. I'm going to stop at about 4, 5, 6, probably about 6 quarts. So right where it says 8, we're going to go 2 notches down to about right here, and then we're going to stop. Okay, let's take a look. Is this garbage coming out of here? Is this garbage coming out of here, guys? How about right here? Is that filling up? Okay, and then we're doing pretty good. This is really putting this car out. We're almost at the 8. We got to go down 2 more notches. We'll put everything back together and start this thing up and burp the system. Then next week, every one of you guys are going to be expected to do a coolant system flush so we can get it on your diploma. So we can show that you've done this with a 3. What's a 3? That's without any assistance from the instructor. Everybody needs to know how to do this, okay? This is a $225 system flush. That's what it costs to do this. Okay, we're down. We're going to go 1 more notch, and then we're going to save the rest of this to top off the system with. I think we're just about there. Does it look like we're starting to get a different color out of here, guys? It's not as orange, is it? Okay, I think we're just about where we need to be. So now, we're going to film it over here if we can. We're going to switch to off. We're going to switch to off. We're good there. Now I'm going to bleed the system off. So how do I do that? Well, I'm going to first move the quick couplers. There, I'm going to move the quick couplers here. And I'm going to pull this out here. Then I'm going to have somebody, one of you guys, grab a funnel out of the tool crib and dump the rest of this antifreeze in here into one of those antifreeze jugs for me while I get this ready. So let's kill I'm going to go ahead and remove these, and then we'll kill the camera, and then we'll start the car and burp the system. This is washer fluid, and that is, let's see, washer fluid, and that is his coolant. So let's go ahead. I'm going to fill that up first.
Does it matter if the thing uses oil, like the funnel?
I can just kind of wipe it out. Now I'm going to overfill this just a little bit. I'm going to get a little bit crazy with it because he's going to need it. He's going to need it overfilled a little bit, but that's about it. You guys ready with that other one? Okay, got the coolant all kind of somewhat overfilled because he's going to be gobbling coolant out of that here real soon. Okay, I've got that one right there. Is there any oil in it?
No.
It's pretty good. Okay. This is a good one here. We're going to go ahead and fill this up. Now watch what I do next, everybody. So from here, I'm going to go ahead and finish topping everything off. I want to make sure that everything is topped off, and then he's going to start this car, and I better have the radiator cap in my hand. Does anybody want to know why? What could happen if I start this and that water pump starts doing its thing? Now listen to this very carefully, guys, because here's where you can go wrong. That last car we did, you remember it never overheated? Were you there when we had that car overheat?
I think that was first.
The water pump got a airlock in it, okay? So what he's going to do now is he's going to start it up. Go ahead and start it up. If it shoots water out of here, I got to cap it and tell him to shut the engine off, Get ready to shut it off. Let's see if I need to cap it. You guys can get up here close and see if I need to burp it. Fired up. Okay, it looks like it's doing pretty good. See the bubbles? Okay, feel those bubbles.
I'm trying.
Whenever those bubbles start bubbling, that's burping the system. Okay? Give it a little bit of RPM and hold it there. And hold it there. Okay, see that bubble? The bubbles that come out of there? He's got a burping system. Is there water leaking? Where?
No, I think it's just dripping.
Yeah, I think Dylan, go ahead and show underneath it. And I think it's just dripping. That's all it is. Let's check a look. Let's look by our thermostat. Guys, is it leaking there?
Yeah, I think it was just coming from like right there on the bottom.
Was it just residual?
Yeah.
Okay. Okay, now he's going to warm this up. You've got to burp the system. If you don't burp it, it's going to be a problem. Now I'm going to show you a fast way of burping the system. Here it is. He's got a bunch of antifreeze in here. It's starting to come up. Let's move this plate over here just a little bit. I'm going to lose a little bit. Ready? Let me show you how to burp this fast. Okay? Hold on. Okay, here's how you burp it. Watch. Okay, first things first. Yeah, but see, let me see. I don't see a leak in there, Dylan, do you? Huh? Rev it up! Yeah, I'm with you on that. Okay, now here's how we burp the system. Take this out. You're going to back out, keep your eyeballs peeled on that temperature gauge, and drive down and around the parking lot 2 or 3 times, okay? Then come right back here. Oh, open up this. Okay, so is the system burped? Guys, how do you tell if that rating, if that thermostat's opened up or not? Feel the top hose. Is it warm? The answer is yes.
It has more pressure.
Then we look at the pressure. Yeah, it's got some pressure on it. Okay? What's our temperature gauge say? What? Okay, it's halfway between cold and hot, so it's that operating temperature, okay? We've done a pretty good job on this flush. He's got enough coolant to last him. I'm going to send him down the road for this full gallon of antifreeze. Then he needs to come back for another test to see if he's freeze protected. If he's good enough for 50 below or whatever. So, we've got a half and half mixture here for you to keep topping it off with, okay? You've gotten your flush done to finish up the rest of it here. Alright, all I'm asking this class to do now is we're going to finish this up. This has been a flush. We've got good temperature here. We got pressure here. This is full to the top. We've got an extra can of this. So he's good to go. Alright? Everybody understand that? Alright, now.